Hey everyone, I saw this cool post by the folks who made the Brewer, which is a cold brewer that I own that makes slow drip cold brew coffee. And traditionally, you would only make like an iced coffee or quote unquote cold brew coffee with the brewer. But they wrote this article about a month ago that shows how they like to make hot coffee using cold brew concentrate. So I'm actually going to replicate the brief experiment that they did here. And here are the specifications. I'll add the link to this post in the video, or I should say below the video description. And on the other end of this, or after I'm done rambling on right here, we'll get to work and I'll show you exactly how this process is carried out if you're curious. So keep on watching. Okay, so just as every coffee experiment begins, we're going to start off by weighing our beans. So they called for 60 grams. That's what those Brewer guys used. So I'm just going to shake this video a little bit more and then pour the beans into the gram scale. This is just a simple under $20 gram scale by Eat Smart. So this is a lot of coffee, so I hope that the results are good and everything tastes great. Worst case scenario is I end up with some great tasting cold brew coffee. And remember, we're going to be making hot coffee with this resulting cold brew concentrate. And if you didn't notice by now, that is the Brewer on the right. Gonna dust it off a little bit because it's been in my shelf during these cold winter months, but okay. This goes in the grinder next. I'll spare you that long process because I hand grind everything, but I'll see you on the other end. Okay, ground coffee is done. Took way too long. I really should invest in an electric grinder, but that's another story. There is the grind. Not sure how well you can see it, but it's pretty fine. I'd say good for a manual drip. Good for a brewer. We've got 350 milliliters of ice water. And I'm just gonna get started with the brew here. So drop the AeroPress filter on top. And do a slight pre-wet. Push in the silicone dripper. Make sure it's nice and snug. Done. Shake the video some more. Pour the ice water. Hopefully don't break the glass. It's very fragile. Now we're going to check our drip rate. That looks about perfect, about 1 per second. Hope you agree. And now we're just going to put the lid on top. And if anybody's brewed with the Brewer before or seen my other videos, they'll know that this is actually not the typical amount of water used. So normally you'll fill the water about up to the top of that, let's see, right about up to here. So basically where the metal ends is where you fill the water, in my experience. So this is going to be a very thick concentrate. It'll be yummy. At least I hope it will. So there we go. I'll see you in, I don't know, 3 hours. But this video won't be running that long, so don't worry. So the cold brew finished as of yesterday, and I'm just boiling some water here that is just about ready. I have the gram scale out just so I can get equal parts concentrate, coffee concentrate, to hot water. So I'm just going to go ahead and start pouring my concentrate, and then I'll get the boiling water in there too. Okay, so I'm going to try and pour out 82 grams of boiling water. I also, oops. Alright, so I diluted it a little bit by 5 grams. Shouldn't make too much of a difference. I'm going to use my thermometer here because I'm just curious what temperature it's at. So this was in the fridge overnight. The cold brew concentrate, that is. So 122.4. So I think the Brewer guys said they got 135. So hopefully this is still an acceptable drinking temperature. Though it's pretty lukewarm, to be honest. I'd probably just go with a cup of cold brew over this. It seems silly to grind out 60 grams of coffee, especially when it's with a manual grinder. But it's a lot of coffee to use for very little output. That's how much I have left over. So you could probably get, 2 full mugs out of this. And typically I use 15 grams of coffee, roughly 15 to 20 grams of coffee per cup. So if you have 60 grams and you're only getting 2 cups worth, you're basically getting half of the output, because I can get the equivalent of 4 cups of coffee using standard brewing methods with hot water. And I think the Brewer, I should say, is best for cold brew. So, fun experiment nonetheless, and it is a good cup of coffee, but a little too cold for me.